before we go any further, and we're still Ash Avildsen, Part 2, the director and major domo of Queen of the Ring, is coming up. And also, we're going to delve into some of Uncle Dave's readership's train of thought and where their head is, what space their heads are in, man, with the Wrestling Observer Awards yet to come. But even though I didn't watch the program, did anybody else watch Dynamite from AEW this past Wednesday night? What was it, Wednesday the 12th of February? What was the story from the people over at Nielsen? By the way, is that the guy from Cheap Trick? Does he own that joint?
Were you a Cheap Trick fan at all? I mean, I know it was your time, I guess, but not necessarily the style of music you talk about going to see or really embracing.
Well, every once in a while, I would want you to want me, or whatever that fucking thing was. But no, not necessarily a very close Cheap Trick fan, but I thought that would segue you into telling me about how cheap a trick Tony Khan and his AEW crowd was the other night. How
you thought I would surrender?
Yeah, very good. Very good. I must admit I'm defeated on the Cheap Trick trivia.
Well, Mom's all right, Dad's all right, but Tony's a little strange. All right, a little weird, I should say, but
Tony's getting a little bit weird.
Let's go to the AEW ratings, and again, you did not see this. I did. I have to say, I thought this was a better AEW Dynamite than it had been.
Oh, are you ribbing what? I've missed one of these things in like how many fucking years?
There were several things.
And it was a good one.
Well, no, let me just make sure I phrase this right. You'll know more with the quarter-hour breakdowns, but there were things on this episode I thought were really good. But then there was also the usual nonsense. And then, knowing Tony likes to cycle people on and off, you know it's like a matter of days before Orange Cassidy pops up again. But anyway, let's go to the ratings.
My God, I hadn't thought about him for a few weeks, and that was so pleasant. But, well, tell me more about whether Tony was on his cycle or not.
AEW Dynamite on TBS, Wednesday, February 12th, 2025, 8 to 10 p.m. According to WrestleNomics, on average, 579,000 viewers.
Oh, geez, they were back up over 600,000 the last few weeks, right?
That's
Not
right.
much, but they were there.
They were at 605 last week, so this is 4% down from that. And the trailing 4-week average, again, according to WrestleNomics, 636,000 viewers, not including Max. Somehow, these numbers are exactly the same as what they were before Max, but it doesn't include Max.
Well, maybe Max is not being included because there ain't nobody on Max.
Well, let's go to the...
One would think there would almost have to be, but they don't... Again, there's no jump in ticket sales, or there's no perceptible change in any way if there was some new viewership pool. And conversely, and I'll let you get back to the numbers in a second, but they've seen incredible leaps in the advances in the WWE and the live events TV since they've been on Netflix. But I don't know. Who am I? Just a small town bird lawyer. Give me your numbers there, bean counter.
And they had a hot crowd. They were in Texas, and I have to say, it was a really hot crowd, and that helped.
Well, yeah, because have you ever been to Texas in February? It can be warm down there.
Quarter 1, 8 to 8:15 p.m. These were compiled by WrestleNomics. Max Caster's live promo, Adam Page versus Max Caster, the Ricochet backstage promo, and the Death Riders versus the Undisputed Kingdom with picture-in-picture ads. 676,000 viewers.
Well, they started much lower than normal, and also I now know that I do not regret missing the first 15 minutes of the program.
The Max Caster stuff could be something. He's got like a wacky personality that you could see connecting. I don't know about the way they're doing it, that he's the greatest wrestler alive and he gets killed and he runs from I don't know, but he has something. But we go to quarter 2.
Maybe penicillin might cure it.
8:15 to 8:30 p.m. the continuation of the Death Riders versus Undisputed Kingdom, the post-match with Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Cope, Jay White. Oh, no, excuse me, this is a separate thing.
Oh.
So that was that angle of match.
I was going to say, and Tits McGee.
And again,
Arnold Finster.
And again, I'm not a fan of the Death Riders. I'm not a fan of the Undisputed Kingdom. The fans there were really into it, so it made it better than it would normally be. It was a hot crowd. But then in the back, Cope and Jay White's angle with Jon Moxley and Marina Shafir. What happened here, Jim, was Cope and Jay White snuck up on Moxley and Marina in the back, knocked Moxley out of the way, pushed Marina into a room, but kept the briefcase on the other side of the door, and then cut it loose, so they got the briefcase with, presumably, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
So they did the old deal where they slammed the door on the arm and got the case away from the person with the case.
Marina, yes.
Well, that's happened in every gangster movie I've ever seen from Warner Brothers.
Well, we'll find out what happens, but we go now to quarter three. Did I give the rating? Oh, I did not give the rating.
No, I don't think you did.
648,000 viewers.
Well, apparently then 28,000 people said, we don't believe that. We've already seen it in the old gangster movies from the Warner Brothers.
We go to quarter three, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. Pre-code. MJF and Adam Page's backstage angle.
You know, you can almost see like, no, seriously, you can almost see nipples on some 1932 gangster movies where they're wearing those sheer dresses, the flappers. They didn't have to wear a bra.
Once again, quarter three, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m.
Very nipply back in those days.
MJF and Adam Page's backstage angle. They bumped into each other again and they've had some words. Aaron Solo and John Cruz and Rosario Grillo versus Hook, Shibata, and Samoa Joe. By the way, that John Cruz guy, that was the guy that was the tag team partner with the job guy in North Carolina you had a problem with. This show was in Texas. Did they fly him? Is he being flown to shows, this guy?
Either that or is he a member of the fucking merch staff and they just, hey, you got some tights again tonight? That's what it looked like. And also, Samoa Joe is back, a major league talent, and he's in six-mans against job guys with Shapoopy and Hook.
Well, then it was Joe's live promo, followed by Chris Jericho's backstage promo, an ad break, the Willow Nightingale Marina Shafir confrontation, where Jon Moxley was also there. 615,000 viewers.
Ooh, and another 33,000 say, see ya.
We go to quarter four, 8:45 to 9 p.m.
And Barbara Stanwyck, by the way, she was a hottie back in 1932, I'll have you know.
Well, you know, Thelma Todd at least had a sense of humor. That was my kind of woman. But let's go.
And boy, I tell you what, she looked like she's up for anything too, old Thelma.
How dare you speak ill of Thelma? It's too soon. 8:45 to 9 p.m., quarter four. The film geeks are loving it today. A reminder, Jim, Chris Jericho just pointed out that 9 out of 10 times his quarters are up.
Uh-huh.
That was a quote. The Learning Tree Outrunners Bandito Powerhouse Hobbs live angle.
Jesus.
Followed by Cope and Jay White's promo, an ad break, Dustin Rhodes' backstage promo, and the beginning of Dustin versus MJF. 544,000 viewers.
Jesus Christ on a cracker. There's another 71,000 people before the top of the 9 o'clock hour and at the start of MJF's match. That's not good at all.
Yeah, there's another lesson from the Learning Tree. We go now to quarter five, the big 9 o'clock hour, 9 to 9:15 p.m. Dustin Rhodes versus MJF. And then the post-match Adam Page MJF angle. They had a pull apart where they kept going after each other. The fans were into it. 596,000 viewers.
And so they got 52,000 back at the top of the hour. Maybe they realized that the Jericho thing was over with, and they got on it. There's a phone network where they get on the phone to each other and say, okay, Jericho's been on. You can switch back over now. Somebody takes one for the team, and then everybody else switches back over to watch MJF.
By the way, MJF Dustin was presented commercial free.
As it should be.
We go now to quarter 6, 9:15 and 9:30
Well, Dustin
PM.
himself said he's an older man. He hadn't got a lot of time left. Don't need to sell any franks and beans in the middle of his matches.
Are you going to watch that match or no?
I may have to go back and watch that now that I remember that it took place.
So I won't spoil the finish there. Quarter 6, 9:15.
I'm sure they did that for me.
9:15 and 9:30 p.m. An ad break. Megan Bayne versus Maya World.
And welcome to it.
Megan Bayne is worth watching. Impressive, has size, has stature. We'll see how they mess this up. Penelope Ford versus Chris Statlander with picture-in-picture, and it was a confrontation coming and going between Megan Bayne and Chris Statlander. 560,000 viewers.
And they're headed back down south. There's another 36,000, but they started low, so they're only 116,000 down from the start.
We go now to quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. The continuation of Penelope Ford versus Chris Statlander. The post-match with Megan Bayne. The Harley Cameron music video. I don't even know if you'd say music video, just video. The Harley Cameron video, which may be worth you watching. You can see how talented she is. Followed by the start of the Hurt Syndicate versus the Guns. 533,000 viewers.
Ooh, I wish that Pfeffer had pushed the Fargos the way you push Harley Cameron, but apparently it didn't salvage another 27,000 people from jumping off the ship.
I thought that was a big test. There was a lot of women's stuff just back to back to back. And it was going to really be a test of the audience.
Normally, you like to have your women back to front.
Let's go now to quarter 8. I remind you, we have a 5-minute overrun. 9:45 to 10 p.m. The Hurt Syndicate versus the Guns continued with picture-in-picture ads. The post-match confrontation with Lance Archer and Brian Cage. Mariah May's backstage promo. An ad break. And then Cope's live promo, 492,000 viewers.
Oh!
5-minute overrun, Cope and Jay White threatening to destroy, you gotta see this, threatening to destroy the briefcase they stole with, I guess he used it in WWE, and I didn't like that shit back then, so I didn't really watch, a giant board with spikes at the end of it that apparently we're supposed to know. No one reacted to it at all. And he starts banging on it like that in any way was going to open this fucking case. It was the stupidest way anyone could ever try to open a briefcase or any kind of fucking suitcase or anything. And naturally it opened nothing, and eventually the Death Riders were able to get their suitcase back. It was kind of cat and mouse.
And they got it back?
It was a little bit of cat and mouse for a while. Like, how are they going to do this? I think they got it back. I just remember the stupid board. But 5-minute overrun, 478,000 viewers.
Oh, my God. So
188 in a key demo.
They only started with 676,000 people, and they still lost right at 200,000 viewers over the course of the thing, and dropped below 400,000 at the end for, is this the second week in a row? Well... That's a terrible thing.
You know, I said there was good stuff on the show. I like the Hurt Syndicate stuff with the Guns, but they put that after the back-to-back women's segments. They got killed by the placement. The Moxley stuff is not causing anyone to want to watch. No one's willing to sit through anything to see the continuation of whatever story they've concocted. MJF and Adam Page is something the AEW fans seem to be into. So that stuff is worth seeing, but the Death Rider stuff remains death. Just remains awful.
You know what they got to do, Brian? They got to beef up these ratings. They got to give these ratings some nutrition where they can develop and grow and be lively and energetic instead of moribund and comatose. They need more protein in their ratings is what they need. Don't you agree?
I agree that most of us need more protein. It's always good to have
They
in
should
the
give the
ratings. I
ratings
don't know
some
how.
protein.
How does that work? How do you
Because
do
that way they give the ratings some protein, and that way that would beef up the ratings.
I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna. Why wouldn't you just give the ratings beef?
Well, because that's not healthy either. You know, everything's unhealthy for you these days.
Don't I know?
You can't do anything or go anywhere. But folks, what you can do is you can help support yourself with real nutrition that has the power to make a real difference in your life. You need to stop eating the filet mignons because they've got cancer-causing chemicals in the way that they're grilled, and you got to get away from the fats because that'll clog up your arteries and lead to you having a stroke or a heart attack or something. You got to get away from the carbs and the sugar because that'll just throw you into a diabetic coma. But good old-fashioned protein with some nice, delicious chocolate wrapped around it, now that's what's going to fix you right up, and you'll feel swell because it helps satisfy your cravings without any added sugar. Just protein-packed real nutrition in Orgain's new 30-gram complete protein shakes. Because in the hustle and bustle of your busy world when you're hurrying and scurrying around, you don't have time to sit down and just eat a 5-course meal anytime you want to. So you take one of these 30-gram complete protein shakes and you pop the top on it and you drink it. It's like you're drinking a chocolate milkshake. You fool your body into thinking that you're having something that tastes good, but in reality, it's good for you. And then if you work out and you want to go through all of that bother and trouble, well, then that goes hand in hand with the protein. And you can take these on the road with you on the go or in your house. You can stash these in various parts of the house, behind a potted plant, up on top of the bookcase. That way your visitors won't steal them. But anytime you need some protein, Brian, you've been standing around the house every once in a while when suddenly you get a little shaky, it starts going black, you fall down, you bust your head open on the floor, and you say, my God, I need some protein.
What? Does this happen to you?
Oh, all the time. Until I started drinking the Orgain 30-gram protein shakes, so then I've been right as rain.
Well,
the stitches are almost ready to come out.
Well, no, hold on. Let's make sure we say here that this is a fine, a wonderful and delicious, to be quite honest, delicious protein shake. It's not going to cure any sort of wacky mystery ailment you have. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to start. So there's no quick fixes when it comes to your health. You got to start somewhere. So I'm starting with the protein, and then I'll do that CAT scan they're talking about. And folks, I'll tell you, these Orgains, they're an excellent source of premium ultra-filtered protein with all 9 essential amino acids. So if you're looking to fuel your personal best and pump up the volume, or you need muscle support and recovery, looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle, the 30-gram protein shakes checking all the boxes. They've got powders and bars and shakes and tons of other nutritional products that the whole family will love. Even potentially, they're putting a section for marital aids coming up shortly.
No, they're not. Let's not say things that won't happen.
It's going to be all natural marital aids with only the finest quality protein.
Naturally will not be on this website or part of Orgain's wonderful palette of great protein products that you can get at Orgain.
A palette of protein products? If you love alliteration, folks, Orgain has something for you. And remember, if you want more protein, give Orgain 30-gram protein shakes a try. Go right now to Orgain, ORGAIN.com/Jim, and use the code JIM for 30% off your order. 30%. So again, do the math. Go ahead and buy a truckload. You'll save money for the grandkids. 30% off Orgain.com/Jim. Use the promo code JIM for your order. A very great opportunity there to get protein at a low cost. Have you priced just protein on the street lately, the bootleg protein? It's because they're cracking down at the federal level. So go through the proper channels.
That's right.